It's going, it's doing it. Waiting, we're waiting. Where is it? Actor slash.
I thought you don't want to be on it. Sure.
Heiko, I need you to hide your screen too, please. We can see you, your video, please. Just hide it on next to the little, by the camera, video camera. I don't see it.
It only says end the video.
You probably won't be able to see it, sweetie. I can see. I see it.
Okay.
Hang on.
Bonjour, fellow actors slashers. I'm Lynna Amiguet. I'm an actor, voiceover actor, and travel host.
Hey guys, on April 24th at 11 a.m., my mommy will be joining Actor Slash live event for voiceover. Please join. She's super cool, and other fella will be on.
And it's going to be super fun. We'll be talking about voiceover acting, our experiences, and you'll be hearing my French accent and all the voices that need to express themselves, right? So I hope you have fun, and I'm still learning and loving the craft. Thank you.
Hi, actors slash friends! I'm Hitomi and I'm a voice actor. In this panel, we'll be talking about our own experiences as international voice actors. So come join us, it'll be fun!
Hi, actor slashers and friends and colleagues in general. This is Lynna Yee. I hope you're all doing well. So if you ever thought about doing voiceover, or how do you continue to do voiceover in this interesting time, then come join me and a few other international voiceover actors on Friday the 24th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to have an online panel and informal chat about how we got into voiceover, and we're also going to share some of our works and reveal our pandemic studio setup. So come join us. It's a free event. See you then. Bye.
Hello, actors slash. My name is Heiko Obermöller. I'm a German-born actor, voice director, puppeteer, and writer. I would like you to join us with actors slash. I'm looking forward to answering questions about my work as a voice actor. I voice all sorts of things like animation characters or commercials, and sometimes I work from my home studio, which you see here behind me. So we can talk a little bit about working from home during these times. I also work as a lip-sync voice director, which means I adapt foreign language films into the German language, and I write lip-sync dialogue. So in the end, you don't see a difference between the original and the German dubbed version when we go into the studio and record it. I also work as a puppeteer in a very cool show called Ein Fall für die Erdmännchen, which is a kids show on German television, and we can talk about that as well. Looking forward to meeting you. Bye-bye.
Hey, actors slashers. This is Jake Eberle. I'm an actor and a voice actor. I'm right now doing the Whisper Booth Hustle. It's COVID-19 time, very strange time in all of our worlds. And I just wanted to say on April 24th at 11 a.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be on a panel on how I became a voiceover actor with actor slash. So come on to the internet, the interplace or the interweb, however you want to refer to it, and join us. And I guess there's going to be questions and conversations with multicultural VO talents. And we've all got a story to tell, I'm sure. All right, hope to see you guys there. All right, bye.
So hello, everybody there on Facebook. I hope you guys are able to join us. My name is Vanhia Tapia. I'm an actress, I'm a voiceover talent, and I'm a producer. And I'm also the founder of Actor Slash and Connecting Slasher. And I'm very excited today to be here because I'm reuniting with very dear friends that I'm going to tell you why they are so special to me. But I'm gonna start with a very dear friend who had joined me in so many different adventures in the past. So you know who she is. I hope you are ready to unmute and unblock your camera. She is an amazing on-camera host. She's also a voiceover talent in Japanese, and she's also a writer. So please welcome everybody, virtual claps, to Hitomi Farrell. Yay, Hitomi. Now we can see Hitomi.
I'm Hitomi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very excited to have you and see you here. Yeah. You know who else I have on board? So she's a French / Swiss amazing actress, model, on-camera host. She's also a voiceover talent, and she is Caroline Amiguet. Everybody, give it a big applause.
Hello, Benji. Hello, Hitomi. Hi, actors, slashers, everyone.
Yeah. So our next guest is another very dear friend of mine. She has done a lot of, well, I think you're the one that I have been in contact the most lately. And that will be a very dear friend of mine who's a writer. She's a musician. She plays instruments. She's a singer. Of course, she's an actress and a producer. And she also has done tons of voiceover jobs. We worked together in the past with these other 3 ladies. And she's right now here with me. I mean, in her house. We're keeping the social distance. Please welcome Lynna Yee.
Hi, guys.
Yay, Lynna.
Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see you as well. Let's see if everybody can see now. And our next guest, he is logging in only for us directly from Germany. He's also a very dear friend of the 4 of us because we worked in the past together. He is an amazing actor / producer / voiceover talent / puppeteer. He's also directing dubbing, and he's a on-camera host. And welcome no one else but Heiko Obermöller. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. There it is.
Hey, everyone.
We were connected with Jake, with Jake Eberle. He was with us just a couple of moments ago, but we lost him, and we're trying to reconnect him. But you saw him talking. He is an amazing voiceover talent. He is a producer. He is a theater producer and a movie producer, and he's just fantastic. And I'm just very excited that he accepted to be here. So we're just waiting for him to check in, to log in anytime, any moment soon. Zoom, because we're doing this through Zoom. But while we do that, tell us, let's start with all of you guys. Why don't you introduce yourselves? And let's start with Hitomi again. And everybody else mute yourself so we can hear Hitomi talking. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're doing now, how you started into the voiceover world.
Sure. So I'm from Japan. I came to the United States. Originally, I just wanted to study journalism. But, being in LA, I started doing, I love being in LA. So I just figured, okay, and I started doing whatever I can do in the entertainment industry. In terms of work, I was a production coordinator, TV production coordinator. I did on-set translation, script translation, stuff like that. And voice acting was just one of them. And I started doing it. It's just like in the beginning, it was just like because of convenience, honestly, because you can just like send your auditions without going anywhere physically, and you can just do like record your jobs like at home or your home studios, and it was just like really convenient. And then I started but sometimes you go to professional studio, which is fun too. But then I just like started loving it. Like, it's so much fun to do like so many different character voices for video games, and then so basically that's it. And that's how I started. Like, it started out as convenience, and it just turned out to be a great stuff for me.
But you're not a an actor, except like a voice actor. So
Yeah.
I remember I tried to hook you up in on-camera acting gigs, and you're like, no, I'm not an actor.
Right. So
That's amazing.
There's a difference. So like to me, like I was never into like regular acting, and like I know like okay, so voice acting, regular acting, it's sort of similar, but to me it's not. Like, so to be an actor, like you have to be different people. Like like you have to put yourself in the mindset of different person. This and that. With voices, like you just you're using different voices. I mean, of course, like you kind of like sort of you have to put yourself into that character, but not too much like just using different voices as opposed to like acting. You really have to be that person that's not you, and I couldn't do it. So yeah, but voice acting I really love, and yeah.
And you do all sort of voiceover. Like I was listening to your demos, and you do, I mean, narrations, of course, and then you do animation, which is anime, which is amazing. And then also audiobooks and even prompters, like when someone call to, I don't know, a certain bank or something, you will be answering, right? Those kind of props.
Right. Yeah, like phone system. But what I love, I mean, like it seems like because I can do like a lot of character voices, so I love just doing video games. But yeah, but I do different things like audiobook. Like the phone system. It's just like pretty much everything. Like whatever I can do. Yeah, I will do commercials, and of course.
This is very cool, Hitomi, but we're going to come back with you. Let's go with Caroline, my dear. Introduce yourself and tell us how you started.
Okay, so hi, bonjour, everyone.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, I'm Caroline. Some call me Caroline. I answer by both. I crack myself up too. I started into voiceover by accident in a way. First, I moved to the United States. I was born in Paris, France, and grew up in the French part of Switzerland. My family is both French and Swiss, so I have a very good understanding of both cultures. And I moved to the United States and got the chance to work for a video game company at the time. But I was an international PR and marketing person, and I was fascinated by all the video games that were being made. And one was a massively multiplayer game online called EverQuest 2. And I remember it was one of the first video games that had actually speaking characters. And we had amazing actor on it, Christopher Lee, and but I was all observing.
Oh, wow.
I never thought it was something I'd get into, but deep inside me, I had a silent dream about acting. And the United States is all about like taking chances and trying. So I signed up for an acting class, and then I started like that. And slowly one acting gig led to another, and people were like, well, do you do voiceover? Can you do voiceover? We want to do an introduction for that. So I had my first voiceover on a beautiful short film called Lucy that took place in France during World War II. And I had to I portrayed the mother of a little autistic girl. and I had to explain what is autism. And I heard myself, and that was the first time I could hear my voice, because we don't sound the same. We don't realize how we sound, really. And it was something else. I was like, oh, I have a lot to say. So I kept training, and I was like, I want to get through my bucket list. I want to be a voiceover talent, a voiceover actor, and I'm going to train for it, and I want to get better at it. And that's how, and more things happen. I also do travel hosting videos for a company called Visit the USA. And as a travel host, we had to do research, but also come up with voiceover to describe what we were seeing in language. And that has been just an amazing learning experience. So, it's just happy accidents. It's just what that is.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. That's we're going to talk about those happy accidents in a moment.
I have more.
Let's move with more happy accidents.
Yeah.
Let's move in with Lynna. Lynna, please tell us. Let's mute Caroline and unmute Lynna so we can learn about Lynna.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself, how you started.
Hi. So this is Lynna, and it's also just kind of happy accident. I never pursued voiceover. I didn't even think about voiceover as a field. I was actually a theater major, so I sort of started acting in college. And I remember I took an on-camera acting class in college, and one day the professor was like, you have a voice that can burn through the blanket. And I was like, what does that mean? And obviously I ignored it. And then after I graduated, I was in theater companies, and I was pursuing on-camera acting gigs. And then my commercial agent one day was like, I was auditioning for commercials at a time, and I wasn't booking anything. And then she was like, hey, someone's looking for a Chinese speaker. Do you speak Chinese? Do you want to go on this job? And then this was so early. So this guy I was dating at the time was a musician. So he had a cassette recording thing at home. So that was how I recorded my very first audition. And I ended up booking the job. And so that's how I got started. And then my commercial agent sort of ended, and they got out of the business. And then I was looking for a new
oh my God, something
agent.
happened.
And then I'm seeing so many me. And then my roommate at the time was working for a management company. So I asked if I could
Something's happened.
It seems like someone's sharing this screen infinitely.
Yeah, I don't know why we're having that. I don't know. Oh, Jake, that's you. We're viewing this on Jake's screen. Close all your.
My hands are off. I haven't touched anything.
Okay, we can see your screen. Let's go back to Lynna. Where was Lynna? Here, let's. I'm gonna mute you real quick for a moment. We can see your screen, so don't click share screen. Remove your stop sharing screen. And I think we lost Heiko as well. Let's see if Heiko comes back. Oh no, there it is. Okay.
Heiko's there.
Sorry. So Lynna, I'm so sorry. We were just having Jake screen. That's okay. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. So now we have two Jakes, but don't worry. We need all Jakes.
Okay. So
we hear you. Sorry.
Basically, I was looking for a new commercial agent, and I asked my roommate to set me up, with his contacts. And then somehow I ended up getting a voiceover agent. So it was just sort of one thing.
You did? Just like
that?
They
were like, oh, you speak Chinese. And, it's so funny because, as a 1.5 generation Asian American, I was trying to stay away from my root. And then it was my native language ability that sort of kept getting me those opportunities. So yeah, I got a voiceover.
That's true, because you were born in the US. So you are actually
Taiwan, actually. I was born in Taiwan.
You were born in Taiwan and then brought in when you were.
I was 16. So
oh, gotcha.
so I speak fluent enough Chinese. And then the funny thing is, like, I ended up just kind of learning how to speak Mandarin in a more neutral way. So I get a lot of jobs that are like from mainland China. So I had to learn to also read simplified Chinese, because in Taiwan we read and write in traditional Chinese. So I'm sort of bilingual in Chinese in that way too. And then like I got into the same hosting job, like Fanhe and Hitomi all worked. And
We'll talk
Caroline all
about that
worked
in
at.
a moment.
So
Yeah.
also, that's also like a happy, accident thing. And then there was hosting and some voiceover gigs there as well. So it's sort of just like this thing just sort of happened, and somehow I was booking jobs through the agent. I was booking jobs on my own. Like I just somehow got opportunities directly through different production companies. So yeah, happy accidents.
That's actually pretty cool. And you're also a producer. You're also a musician. Do you do jingles?
I don't do jingles. Like I'm more of like, I've played music ever since I was a kid. Like, I'm Asian, so of course I took piano lessons for 10 years. So it's something that I always do and I always love, but it's something that kind of always informed my work in a very interesting way. It's like voiceover and or on-camera acting, like to me, or when I'm producing or directing my theater pieces, like to me it's always about rhythms. It's always about rhythms. Like I hear some sort of music in the copy or in my acting work or in how I sing work. So to me everything is actually musical. So even though I don't do music professionally, it sort of informs everything that I do.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I've seen you with your guitar, not the piano, but we're gonna have to see that soon, because that sounds amazing.
I need to get a piano again.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So how about you, Heiko, dear? Tell us about you, please. And
Hello.
let's mute Lynna here.
Hello, Vante. Hello.
Hello. So you're what part of Germany you're broadcasting, you're checking in from?
I'm actually in the most important part of Germany, which is Cologne. It's right in the center. You don't have to know anything else about Germany. This is the most important part. If you come to Germany, come to Cologne. That's all you need to hear. You want to hear something how I started, right?
Yeah, love to.
Please.
What?
Yes, we do. We do want to know how you started.
I started early on. Like I started filming early on through school theater, and then suddenly there was casting directors because they cast some, young students for a film, and I got that part. That's way like 25 years ago, and through that I met a director who was also a director in a radio station. We have a big radio station here in Cologne, the WDR. And that guy just brought me on. He just, hired me for radio plays or features and all of this. So it kind of grew with that in a way. And then later on, I started, as I was filming, I needed to dub myself, like they lost some audio while they were filming. And so I needed to dub myself. And then I met a guy, a technician, who said, I think you have a talent for that as well, lip sync dubbing. So he referred me to some other director, and then one led to the other, and this is how I got into this whole world. And then from there on, it spread out. One day I remember asking a good friend of mine who was big in the commercial world, is like, how do you do it? I want to start doing commercials as well. And he referred me to his agency, and I hooked up with that agency. And from there on, I was, doing commercials as well.
That's pretty cool. And that's on the voiceover. That's on the voiceover world. But tell us about dubbing, because I remember when you were living here in Los Angeles, when I met you, you were just doing dubbing, and you do also mocap, motion capture.
Yes.
And I even remember going with you to a special screening with Brad Pitt for Fear.
Yes.
You were doing one of the characters, the German tank. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, I remember how the room got silent when Brad Pitt entered.
Yeah, we all were
Everybody
like,
was like,
remember?
oh my
That was
God,
like amazing.
that's the real Brad Pitt.
And I asked him, he's
I remember
good
that.
with accents. I remember you told me he's good with accents. So I said, Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
Brad, did you learn how to speak German or only your lines?
I can tell you how that
German?
happened. I was in a loop group. I started doing dubbing way back in Germany before I moved to the US. And I remember getting into a loop group. So whenever they had some German to do, I was in that German loop group. And one of them was for Fury, the Brad Pitt movie. And then from there on, there was just a bigger part in that movie, which was a tiger commander, a tank commander. And we did an audition right there, like the David Ayer,
oh my God,
director. Yeah, the director was there, and he's like, "You do it," and that's how I got that part.
That was
but
very
you know,
cool.
the dubbing just went on from there. I always, as long as I can remember, I did dubbing for animation characters for the past 25 years. So
actually,
a couple of years ago, when I moved back to Germany, I started directing as well.
That's like,
which is fun too, to be on
ago?
the other side. I moved back to Germany in 2016. Yes, almost 4 years. Yeah, 3.5 years ago.
Oh my God, we miss you. Come back.
That's how old my daughter is. My oldest daughter.
So you're a puppeteer as well, because I remember
Yes.
you invited some of us to come to your house, and then suddenly, oh look, I'm a puppeteer, and I use this mirror.
That sounds strange.
And then do the voices.
He invited some of us to his house, and he showed us his puppets. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, Justin, I just saw
what is he doing?
Heiko's puppet. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, he took me to his room. He showed me his puppet. He's like, oh my God, what do you mean? And to Catherine and Lucy and everybody from New York was around. No,
Yeah.
he's a puppeteer.
Well, that's a fun thing. That's one thing. That's one thing I can say. It was just because I was interested in it. I always did voices. That was my main thing. And I did something with puppets in Germany as well, but not professionally. So when someone, a good friend of mine, Trisha, asked me, well, there's a puppet school in Los Angeles. Do you want to go? I said, of course. Yes, I want to go. So we met Michael Earl, who is he is no longer with us, who was a Muppeteer for 35 years. He was on Sesame Street and all of this. And I took several workshops with him and went through this entire program. And then it was just so much fun that, you know, me and some other guys said, so how do we do this professionally? And there's no way to, like, nobody tells you how to do it professionally. You just either do it or you don't. You either pursue it or you don't. Like, that's probably the same for voice acting as well, in a way. And then I started.
Because you're managing the puppet at the same time you're talking.
Yes, yeah, most of the time. Most of the time I am also the voice, and I'm also manipulating the puppet, the hand puppet. So I'm talking and the puppet will be talking. But sometimes it's dubbed. If it's a famous voice, for instance, if somebody else voices it, then you kind of lip sync too. Or it's a music video, then you lip sync.
Gotcha. That's actually pretty amazing. And you guys made it to American Got Talent or something.
That's true. Yeah. Well, actually, my friend Christian did. My friend Christian, who was an amazing singer, who was on Avenue Q on Broadway and on Rent, on Broadway. So he's a real pro. He and I worked on, I don't know how many projects in Los Angeles with puppets. We are still close friends, and I love this guy. And he was asked to be on America's Got Talent because they wanted to have a puppet. And then for the first rounds, he was like, I'll just do it. And then he got, further and further. And then he called me and he said, like, well, we might need other puppeteers because it's getting bigger. And then he said, okay, now it's happening. We're in the quarterfinal and it's going to be live in Radio City Music Hall in New York City. Do you want to be part of it? And I said, you kidding me? Of course.
Of course.
So, of course. So I went to New York, and then amazingly enough, we went through. Like we won the quarterfinal. We went through to the semifinal, and everybody's like, "Okay, what do we do now?" It's like, nobody planned for this. I have no idea. So, and then we made it to the semifinal, but then we got buzzed out by Howard Stern. Yeah.
That's actually pretty crazy. Yeah, because I remember you went to New York like 2 or 3 times.
It was an amazing experience. I mean, it was an amazing experience to be live in Radio City Music Hall with 6,000 people live there, and then you're live on television. So it was a great experience.
And right now in Germany, you are helping, you are directing the looping or something like that. You told us, so it matches.
Yeah, right now
the live. You want to tell us?
Yeah, right now I direct the German version of Hotel Transylvania, the series, which you probably know, and also write some part of this. This is I took over for somebody else, so I have co-writers as well. And the way this works is we get the original, of course, and then since this is the second season, the actors are already cast and they know their parts. So
Right.
now
they
what
came in on board late.
we do is just like write lip sync dialogue. So we adapt the original and we see how we can, lip sync this into the German language, so you don't see any difference, So it's not obvious that it is dubbed, So that's what we're doing right now with.
You just match it right there. That's fantastic, Heiko. Well, let's come back in a moment with you. And since we have Jake back, which I'm very happy, because that was stress. We were like, oh my God, we've been there for half an hour. And now Jake it's gone. So Jake, now you can unmute yourself. There, I think you are.
I am.
Oh my God.
I'm glad to have made it back.
Yeah. We sort of lost him, but I'm just very excited that you're here. Please tell us about you, how you started it. We played the intro video just a moment ago before you were able to come back, but you are an actor, a voiceover talent actor. You are a producer. I have recorded for you in the past. I think we shared the same voiceover agent. You're with Avio?
Yeah.
What you're?
Yeah.
I'm with Avio too, right? And then you're a producer. You have put up shows, theater plays, and you have this amazing studio. Like Heiko is also broadcasting from his own studio. You're not, but I saw it. We're gonna share the pictures in a moment. So you wanna talk about your career, how you started, please?
Sure. It's a roundabout way of getting here. I started out in theater as a kid. And always loved doing it and wanted to be an actor since I was probably about 7. I always would steal my mom's tape deck and I'd go behind the couch and I'd make up stories when I was a little kid and do that. So I was always interested in sound. And so I went to school in New York and then came out here to try and get into the business in the film business. And ended up in theater again after doing it in New York. So I did a ton of theater and then I started a children's theater company with a bunch of friends. And we wrote about 15 original plays for kids. And so we did that for about 10 years. Monica. And at the same time, in order to make money, because I was doing the theater, I didn't really have time to go out and do anything else. So I ended up becoming a sound designer. And I was working with a guy who is a phenomenal sound designer and learned a lot from him and worked on probably 100 movies and TV series. And then while I was doing that, I was trying to get into the voiceover business because as a sound designer, you spend 15, 16 hours a day in a chair. So I wanted to stop sitting down. And got into that's when I went out and got in with AVO. And at the time I had children, so I really, I couldn't leave. And the plays that I did do that were union, I never saw my kids or my family. So it was really difficult to do that anymore. So then I joined AVO. I got into AVO. And then it's been really great since then. And it takes a lot of hard work, but it's been a good few years. And yeah, here we are. It's been incredible.
That's amazing. So right now you're doing full-time voiceover work?
Yeah.
No more theater, no more, it's just some productions when you have the chance.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm producing some, I'm casting some. And doing some sound design when that comes along, but it's great that I can choose what I'm going to do.
Right.
And
you can work from home.
Yeah, and I can work from home, which is extraordinary. Now, though, with the projects that are coming out, at least with films, now everything is so secured. You actually have to go into a studio and you do thumbprints and handprints to get into your door. It's crazy because that material is so protected because of how it ends up on the internet in a second. So
And so this question is for you and for everybody else. Like with this pandemic, right now we are getting invited for more and more opportunities for voiceover, but we are required to have our own home studio with a proof sound, quality proof sound faculties. And how you guys are doing? Do you have more work? Do you have less? Like in my case, I'm getting a lot of work internationally more than the US. I'm getting a lot of like Spain, England, Mexico. They're hiring me a lot for all my agents on the East Coast, for instance. They're hiring me more like, you know, audiobooks or like some e-learning kind of things or prompters. And most of them I can do it at home without supervision, without the client being on deck. So I don't have to have Source Connect or anything like that, which I do. But I mean, they don't require me to be there. They just tell me, just send me this. They're also recurring clients, but that's the kind of work that I have. Some of them want to be there, especially for audiobooks. They want to direct you, and they don't necessarily need to see you, but they want to hear you. How is it for you guys? Let's start with you again, Jake. Because now you have your, you know, before we go back to you, I want to see if I can share with you guys all of them. Carolina, I didn't find yours, but this is the, let's see if I can find them. These are everybody's studios, home studios. So you guys can see it. Let me see if you can see. I think I'm a little late behind.
That car set up right over there, that's definitely my studio.
Can you guys see everybody's studios? Because I don't know why I don't see them. Can Heiko and Lynna, can you guys see Jake's studio, the picture?
When I see the tiny picture.
The tiny picture. I don't know why. I'm trying to make it bigger, but it didn't work.
It's delayed on. It's delayed on.
Oh, because it's delayed. Okay, so sorry. Let's do it again. So that's you. That's your picture, and that's on your studio that you have at home. That's Jake's studio. And let me see. Screen sharing has stopped. Okay, sorry. Let me see if I can have everybody else's studios. Let's try again. This is Heiko. He did a screen. He shared his video, recorded it, and he's right now right there. That's his home studio. I don't know if you guys can see it. Can you see it on Facebook, Justin?
Not yet. It's about 40 seconds behind.
Oh yeah, we're behind. We're behind a couple seconds. So we're just gonna wait. But Heiko, I don't know if you can unmute yourself and tell me if you can see your video. That's Heiko.
Yeah, I just see your screen.
You see my screen sharing your picture or not yet?
No, not yet.
No, right now it's.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's about.
Now I see everybody.
Okay. You see everybody. Well, I wanted to share everybody's pictures, but they're home studios. I'll figure it out. But tell me how it's been work for you guys from home now that we have the COVID-19. How has that been affecting you? Like on camera, there's a lot of challenges from casting directors. So I have another room that is only for my self tapes or whatever I want to shoot there. I've done a green screen, some short films and things like that. But for voiceover, it's been a little more frequent right now. How is it for you guys? You want to talk about it? Let's start with Heiko.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say that there's more work for people that work from home. I have the same experience like you have, that I get more international work from the US and from other countries to work from home. So, but most of the studios closed in Germany. The dubbing studios closed because of the whole pandemic. And right now we've opened again. So there are very tight security measures. There's only one person and you need to disinfect your hands, and there's like glass everywhere. So, you know, if there's two people in the room, you're divided, you know. And so this way we're very, very secure if you go into a studio. Working from home studio, if you do voice, like for instance, if you have a show on television, then I have some friends that have regular shows. They just work from home and it's basically the same like before. I wouldn't say that there's more work, particularly for voice actors that do have a home studio right now. Because most of the students that I work for, sometimes they, you know, I work from here, but most of them prefer that I go in. And since we can make that safe and secure again, you know, we do that.
Which is pretty much what Jake was saying, that they normally want you to come to the studio because of the privacy.
Well, for instance,
the
what I'm doing right now, like Hotel Transylvania is a DreamWorks series. So we have very tight security measures, just like Jake said. You know, you can't do anything like cloud dubbing or whatever. If the project is higher up, you won't see anything like that, just because of the security measures. Everybody is it just doesn't happen anymore. You know, like 10 years ago was a different game, but nowadays, if the project is very high, you won't see that. They wouldn't give it to you.
Right. That's for high-end projects, but like something, Jake,
you know, e-learnings, like let's say internal stuff like that. What I do from here mostly, because, you know, I mostly love just going into studios. And most of the stuff happens outside of here. What I do here is just industrial stuff and e-learnings and stuff like this that nobody needs to be around. Sometimes I have clients that call in. Exactly. You know, we have Session Link Pro. I don't know if you know, guys. This was just something like what you mentioned before. Yeah, like something like that. It's just another system. So it's very easy to connect. But most of the work that I do from here is just industrials or like little videos, you know, or e-learnings and stuff like this.
Right. How about you, Jake? You were going to say something.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. I mean, I wouldn't say there's more. And most of what I'm getting now is just about COVID. Whatever business it is, it's about how each corporation or company is standing behind their clients and you know, we're all in this together type of thing, which is pretty much it. And then, I mean, a friend of mine works on the show BoJack Horseman, and they're still recording. They had a table reading last week on Zoom, and everybody's recording from their houses.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, it's for animation, it's kind of a boon, and it makes it easier for everybody. Nobody has to leave their house, and you can still work. I've done a few other commercials, but you know, it's people that I've already had before. Clients that are familiar with my work, and we'll just do stuff here and on my booth. Yeah.
And I have some friends who go to commercials. I just saw a post the other day, and he's waiting on his car, and he's like, normally I'll be waiting at the studio in the waiting room, but now they send us all to our cars to wait there for when it's our turn to come and record a commercial. And I was just like, oh my God, that's good. I'm just doing it from home. Elena, you have anything to say? Caroline, Hitomi?
Yes, I actually am fortunate to have representation. So I'm with AB2. You're coughing. AB2 voiceover talent, and in Los Angeles, and Shim and Freda's agency in San Diego. So they've been sending me auditions, and I have my home studio, Source Connect, and now it's like you have to have Source Connect and be able to provide good material. But it's something I was working towards already before COVID, because it's something I was interested in. Working from home is fantastic. You don't spend your energy and your time in traffic. you get to act and do what you love, and like it's like improv almost. It's like you get your notice, your breakdown, and like, oh, okay, what is it? Let's put it to life. And then you learn about technology too, because you have to be better at it, be able to make your files, edit them, and it's been a very interesting process. And I'm very glad that I had made the move before this time happened. Thought about not a reconversion, but like about using all my palette as an actor, as I worked on having great demos and got coached for it. And my manager recommended someone in Los Angeles, Mark Grau, and I got to work with him. It's fascinating. I also met other people.
For your demo, or you just work, or you started with him, or what do you do with him?
Well, I got private coaching in order to make my demos. So it's just it's just that itself. It's just fantastic. You know, it's joy. And I also got to meet amazing people, like on the film recently. James Alberger, who told me about his book, Voice Acting, The Art of Voice Acting, and then you have all the secrets and everything for people who are starting. And it's just, it's just about being interested about the craft and doing your job the best you can.
Lynna, how about you? What kind of voiceover jobs are you getting at this moment during the pandemic?
I would say just like existing clients, and you know, as a single person with a 1-bedroom apartment, I was very reluctant to like record at home. So I always just like rent a studio space because I have just more room and it's more professional sound. But now with this evolving situation, like I'm realizing that, okay, I need to invest more energy and money into this. I've been recording in my closet, you know, and I am able to do a quality sound for, you know, the e-learning IVR stuff. Like I wouldn't venture into like commercials or other stuff to record at home yet. But I am starting to be like really willing to like, okay, I think I need to just soundproof my bedroom, for example, so I can record in a more spacious space. And then, you know, I can also consider Source Connect, because, you know, without the Source Connect and the other even more quality, you know, recording, I'm not able to audition for that type of jobs. But, you know, when existing clients have something, you know, and it hasn't been about COVID-19 for me, actually. It's like existing e-learning, and then with just like more materials. And it's just funny, like, oh, you never know. Like a lot of businesses are still kind of business as usual, and they're still just kind of moving forward. Yeah.
And so about the existent, I don't know if you have that, because you do also a lot of audio books and e-learnings that you can do from home. Do you see that, like, for instance, when my agent, well, I have this particular agent in the East Coast, and she's always like, you have to have direct connect, or you have to have ISDN, or you have to have this kind of capacity. If not, please do not submit. Do you see, like, for instance, Hitomi, where you are right now, do you have more of those jobs, or what kind of jobs are you getting?
So things haven't really changed to me. Like this COVID thing, it's the same, you know, pre-COVID, after COVID. So because like even like video game like character voices, like everybody else was saying, like source like that. And then clients usually provide, you know, because they have the services, so they'll provide me the link so I can like sign in as
That's true.
Yeah. And that's what's happening to me kind of, you know, a lot of times. So yeah, so like I've been like pre-COVID, I mean, I've been like recording a lot from my home studio, and then now too, it's pretty much the same, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so this Source Connect thing, like I know like what you're saying, like a lot of like clients now say like if you don't have that, you know, direct connection, don't, you know, submit your audition kind of thing. And fortunately, like I've been always like with the clients who provide, but I always tell them like I don't have the Source Connect subscription yet, but I know you can just like whenever you want, you can easily like, you know,
get it. Yeah.
So I'll just tell them like it's, you know, I can do it, no problem. And then but like I said, it's always been like they provide the link and I just sign in as a guest, and yeah,
So just so real quick, someone asked me, like, keep asking me, how did Actor Slash came on board? Why is this called Actor Slash? And then we're going to talk about this. I really need to say it. When I met Heiko, Hitomi, Lynna, Caroline, and many other great actors, voiceover talent, and on-camera hosts through Discover America, which right now is Visit the USA. And it's the tourism board of the United States to promote this amazing country that is the US. So we all were hosting, traveling together into all over the US. I think Germany was the most successful language. So we all were representing different countries and speaking. I was like speaking, all my videos were in Spanish for 21 countries out there that speak Spanish. Hitomi was for the Japanese favorite. We had Lynna, Taiwanese doing Mandarin, and we have our beautiful Caroline for French, Heiko, Germany, Heike in New York, and the female version of Heiko, amazingly cool as well, and Catherine, so many talented people. And we will be traveling together with our videographers, and we had a lot of, sometimes too much time, free time in one trip to another one, and sometimes we didn't have any time at all, because we also have to write our own scripts, and also we have to write our own experiences in a little blog that they share on their page for the travel channel online for Brand the USA and for Visit the USA. This is how I met them all. And we will do sometimes for fun little short films with the videographers. And I was just like, wait a minute, we're not only actors or voiceover talent people or hosts, we are slash writers, slash producers. And that's how I came up with the idea with Actor Slash. I just didn't land it because we just kept traveling like crazy. And then I got involved with another company, with another organization for filmmakers for Mexico. And then finally, like 2 years ago, I'm like, okay, I really have to do this and put our forces together and create something. And that's how Actor Slash started. But it required a lot of voiceover. We had to not only hosting, but we also were dubbing our own videos from home or there on location. And that's how I met everybody. That's why we were going to tell Jake that, like, how do you guys know each other? We met traveling together, promoting this amazing country. So now going back into the voiceover, I want to ask you guys, just raise your hand. How many of you are union? Are you guys, can you work union? No, okay.
I'm like, it's called eligible. So I don't know.
I work both.
I want to say something. I'm
Yeah.
FICOR. I'm
You are
FICOR because I work internationally, and that's
You
easier.
can work both.
Yes,
You can
same,
work
same
both.
here,
Me
FICOR.
too.
Yeah.
Same.
Which means you can work union jobs. For those in Mexico that are seeing us, union is our syndicate of the Actors Guild. So they can work union and also non-union jobs. So they can do it, especially for international.
Yeah,
It's
and I just
considered
want
a
to say,
dues-paying non-member. I mean, dues-paying non-member.
and I want to just make a quick disclaimer. It's not necessarily an anti-union thing, because like someone said, a lot of times we work internationally where it's really outside of the union jurisdictions. And some of those jobs are not even necessarily, they're sort of the neutral zone. We're not talking about animations or feature films, but we're talking about, things that are more industrials. They can be sort of a neutral zone place, or like IVRs for telephones, So just want to make a disclaimer. This is not necessarily an anti-union statement.
Oh,
and
we
also
love the
from
union.
other countries, because we're from other countries, we also have to, I mean, if I'm working for Mexico, I'm actually going to work for my whatever Mexico rules have, rather than being here, right? So probably it's pretty much the same case of everybody. So tell me, guys, for someone who is just starting, someone who's never been in the voiceover industry, I'm sure everybody has got this question like, oh, I love to become a voiceover talent. I love to be like you. Please hook me up with your agent. Or you're like, sure, what's your experience? I want to tell them right away.
Yeah.
But tell me, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting?
Well, I have
Caroline, I see you want to talk. Let's tell us what you think.
I want to say, for me, as I said, it's all about happy accidents. And I have to say, danke, Heiko, because I got one of the biggest job of my career with Visit the USA because of you. And I've never met you in real life. So thank you.
You guys never met in person?
No.
We were in together, but in different locations, I think.
Absolutely. That was Utah, actually. Yeah, with Anton. But it's been amazing because for me, I would say yes and do and train and practice and don't be afraid of making a fool of yourself. Put yourself out there. There's no room to be shy. And
how do you put yourself out there?
There are projects, there are student projects. I mean, for me, for example, the Visit the USA gig, I got it because I took part of a 48-hour film project as an actor. And thank you, Jonah Wells. And one of the actresses on the short film was Amy Lewinsky, who runs an improv group, Finest City Improv, and she knew Heiko. And when Visit the USA was looking for someone, she thought of me because I had worked with her. So you never know who is watching, people you talk to, they remember me often because of my accent. And then you have to say what you do, make sure it's a conversation, not, hey, I do that. But it's not always easy because we try to make contact and use the time as wisely as possible. So I'd say there are student projects, look at the breakdowns, there are Facebook groups, say I'm interested in voiceover work, and start and record yourself. I'd say take a text, record yourself with your phone first, listen how you sound, practice, and then slowly you make something up, and there are breakdowns like services, and you can get the biggest goal. I actually landed an animation film because of someone I knew on Facebook who promoted like the breakdowns of the characters. I reached out, and here I am on an animated film, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a dream. This is unbelievable, just because I was like, well, let's try, and
yeah, that's true. Student films is a great option, guys. Look them up. Yeah. They're on Craigslist. They are LA Casting Actors Access. There's some for non-union people. Voice, I think some companies, Voice123, Voices.com, or other, just Google companies that can offer you those jobs. Just please don't, for students, most of the time you don't charge.
No.
But for other projects, please don't take $20 or don't take just anything, because it's going to hurt our industry.
Yes.
So Lynna, how would you do that?
My advice would be like, be flexible, be open, like don't, as an actor, I never thought about like pursuing hosting or voiceover, but I can use my skills in those, areas that I can work. So like, I feel like be open, be flexible, and don't be afraid to learn on the job. Obviously work on your craft, but there's always a first time in doing something. I a lot of times like, oh, I did a IVR job and then I learned how to do it better. I got my first dubbing job and then I learned how to, do it better. So I feel like, we get to work on our craft and increase our skills on the job as well.
Right. And how about you, Hitomi? What was your first job, and how would you recommend everybody else to join and become?
Yeah. So I was gonna say that it's not expensive at all to the equipment. So like microphones, like for instance, like my microphone is like Technica, like around $200. And right now
you have it right there. You have it right there. You want to show it or no? You don't have it.
Oh, it's in the studio booth.
In the booth. Okay.
Yeah. And then like interface, like right now I use so it was about $400. I used Focusrite Claret, but when I started out, I used this MOD image track, which is like really. I think it was about like around $100 or something. So it's not expensive to like purchase that kind of equipment to record yourself professionally, and you just need a room with like. So right now I have the soundproof room, with the soundproof and everything. But in the beginning, like you can just like record yourself in the clothes and stuff like that. I love it. He still does that, right? your clothes. Yeah, but
and how about you, Jake? What do you recommend for like newcomers, so people who is into like what studio, what program would you like? Audacity is a great tool to download. It's free, and my first microphone was a Blue. It was like $50. One that the Snowball, and anything can help just to start doing it. What do you suggest?
The Rode NT1A is a great mic. It's a great big diaphragm mic. It's really reasonable. I think I got mine for like $120. You can also
that be used for both Android and
you know what? It's actually not a USB mic. The USB mic I have is I think it's just called mic. It's a 96K mic.
Apogee.
Apogee.
Exactly. The Apogee is great. Yeah.
And you know what? With my iPad, you can get Twisted Wave, which is a really comprehensive program.
That's the one that I have. Yeah.
And really easy to use. And I literally recorded commercials from the back seat of my truck.
I wanted to show that picture and I can't. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, man. It was a car, inside of a car has a great balance. And so you can actually record great stuff in a car. And I did hundreds of commercials from the backseat of my truck.
It's perfect. You can do that. You want to explain why the car is so good? Like my studio, it's my walk-in closet, my own clothes, and of course I have panels and everything.
Yeah.
But I also used to have one of those boxes, fabric boxes, and I will put some panels. But the car, you want to tell them why a car is a good option?
Well, you've got all the soundproofing inside the car for when you're driving, and the seats and the ceilings all absorb the sound, and then you have a small amount of reflection from the glass, which gives it some life, and so it's great for recording.
I think, let me see if you guys can see this picture. It's trying to upload. Let's see.
This picture was my son was playing with a sports team out in probably an hour from where I live, out in the valley, and I had to do these sessions because it just made more sense for me to stay out there with him because it took so long to get there and get back. So it was in the summer, and I literally did like maybe 20 commercials a week from the back seat of my car.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not zooming out, but
it's the thumbnail.
Yeah, it's doing it right. You can see it. Maybe I can just make it bigger. But yeah, it's pretty here. The thumbnail now.
It's not the ideal environment because you have to pause for helicopters and you have to pause for cars. And I had to go and find. Right. As a matter of fact, where I was sitting right there, I found this place that was up on a hill by a trail, and a cop came by and stopped, and he goes, "What are you doing in there?" Because I was there for way too long, apparently.
And you have to explain. Well, you see,
I
had
a recording booth.
I had this class with this. It was like a conference, one of these webinars, and this lady, I can't remember her name, but she's also a big name. She was saying that she was on a trip on her way to the airport, and they said they need to hear your voice and they need your audition, so you need to send it right now. And she's like, I'm literally getting off the taxi and hopping into the airport, getting to the airport, So she needed to send the audition before hopping on the plane. And she's like, where on earth I want to do that here in the airport? So she literally went into an elevator, locked the elevator, and then did her audition and told whoever was there, like, please be quiet 2 seconds. So she did her audition from the elevator. It was just an audition, of course. But I mean, just some ideas that you can record anywhere. Obviously, you want to have the best quality possible, but that's one advice that I give you guys.
I actually got a great job recording on my phone next to an elevator in the basement of Warner Brothers. And it was probably one of the best jobs I've ever had because it was so consistent and there were so many spots involved. But literally they said, we need this in the next 20 minutes. Can you record it wherever you are? So I literally walked around the corner and I was standing next to an air conditioner and an elevator, and that was it. The guy who actually, I have to thank the engineer for that, because the engineer took it, cleaned it up, compressed it, and dropped it into the spot, and it worked. So, I mean, I have to thank him for doing that. But
amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And I did that on my iPhone, literally talking.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How about you, Heiko?
Yeah.
What advice would you give anyone to start?
Well, to start with, there's no real advice other than if you want to do it, then you will find a way. And that is connected to why you do it. So I always look for people that just have fun. Like what Jake said, people that when they were kids, they just hit with their cassette recorder and something. It doesn't really matter what setup you have. Nobody in the beginning is looking for any setup, or if it's, we're looking for people that, have something to say, that, where you see the voice connects to the heart, or they have some sort of comedic talent or whatever. It doesn't really matter if they audition with an iPhone or anything in the beginning. Of course, later on, you might want to think about, a soundproof environment if you're already in the business. It's a little different in Germany than it is in Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, to me, it was kind of way easier in a way, because there's so many workshops in the city. There's so many workshop get-togethers, and you can learn anything.
Blessed.
Here in Germany, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that. There's no like voiceover panel or anything. No. The people that are in the business, that they usually don't do any sort of voiceover workshops or anything. You just kind of have to, I don't know, get into the business by contacting studios. But there's another thing, because from my experience, other people that I say, that come to me and ask me, and I say, well, contact this studio and this studio and this studio, only 1 out of 2 does that. Many people are held back because they say something, they say, well, I want to be a voice actor, and they want, first thing, validation. They want me to say, yeah, I think you can do it. I'm not doing that anymore, because you need to think that you can do it, that you have to have it kind of inside yourself. Second thing is, most people don't think they're good enough. So 1 out of 2 people will not even connect to the studio that I refer them to. Most people that I connect to the studios think they're not good enough, so they don't even call. The people that call actually get jobs. Well, that's kind of the truth, in a way, because I believe that somebody that has something and they connect with me or any of you guys and they ask something and you refer them to somebody because you think they have something and they actually do it, they will find their way. I always found my way. Like, I don't think it's a miracle in a way, but your mind needs to be on that. Like, for instance, I said, I came from Germany, and and most of you come from other countries. So, if you ask anybody out there, so how are my chances of getting work in Hollywood? Everybody's going to laugh at you, say, yeah. Or anybody's going to say, like, you better stay home. If it's safe, you have work there, you better stay home, But, either you do it or you don't. Nobody's going to answer that question for you. So if you consider this an adventure that is fun for you, it needs to be fun for you. It needs to be something that you want to do. It doesn't need to be something that you want to make money with. That comes later on. or somebody said like you have a nice voice.
Hold
but
on
you
a
don't
second,
really,
Heiko.
you're really insecure or
It better come fast.
Well, of course, later on,
Yeah.
like, okay, what's the pay? Well, how much does this pay?
Can I have dinner anyway? Just
Yeah.
please.
Well, that comes with having a
Can I
family.
show you my puppet?
Yeah. What?
Can I show you my puppet?
Yeah, right. That comes later on. No, but that's kind of the main thing. Like if you're in a town like in a city like Los Angeles, and I amazingly enough, like I've lived there for 8 years. So, but after 5 years, I met people that haven't been to a single workshop in the city. And it's like, for me, it was like heaven.
Amazing.
That's how I learned puppetry. That's how I learned this. How I got into motion capture is because I met Tom Keegan in a workshop. And from there on, we took it from there on. And I asked him, I went up to him and I said, how do I get into this? And he referred me to an agency, and ever since I got work from him.
See, it's interesting that you
It's
say that.
It's no secret.
Yeah, you met someone with whom you had a moment, a conversation, and you saw each other. And that's
but I went there. That's the difference.
Yes,
No,
and I
we-
had that also
don't
for
go there.
looping. Yeah, but those workshops are I haven't.
Tonight, I have something else to do, or meet with my buddies. I don't know, not tonight. Or
Yeah.
maybe I call them next week, and that's how okay. And just
But
don't
also,
call.
guys, also something very important is a lot of people are already into on-camera commercials. They don't have a theatrical agent, but they do a lot of commercials. I got my SAG card because I was doing voiceover work as an AFTRA. This is before SAG and AFTRA merged. And I was AFTRA, but I was in SAG, and doing a voiceover commercial.
I had to pay both
I
too.
just needed AFTRA. The same client hired me for an on-camera. That's how I got my SAG card back in the day. But also I started a voiceover doing on-camera commercials. So that's what I'm saying. Any opportunity can lead you to something else. Just prepare yourself. Now, how do you get an agent? I went to IMDb and look which are the kind of agents that I wanted to work with, or which ones were the greatest. Of course, I picked the best and I picked the not so good because they don't know me. My demos were only in Spanish. And I sent it to around 10, and 3 got back to me because they didn't have like kind of sound like a boy or something they found on my voice, and they took me. And Ilko, you probably remember Ilko, Jake, and he was our first agent. He was my first agent in one agency, and then he moved to AVO. So I ended up working with him. I didn't work for 3 months, but then I moved. But you really gotta try. I was lucky on voiceover, but for instance, for theatrical, I kept sending emails, and nobody will listen to me. But you really gotta keep trying. We have some questions here.
You also have to have, if I may say, you have to have a good demo. That's very important.
Oh yeah, let's
and
talk about
people
demos.
Something available, yeah.
Yeah, people.
That's a great observation.
People also look into with whom you've trained and what you are doing. So.
And what you do.
I don't know.
I was gonna say.
I've seen yes, Hitomi.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say. See, I don't have an agent, right? So how I started out, it's just like there are a bunch of websites, voices.com, voice123.com, and so you record a good quality demo and you make a profile, right, on those sites, like and then you upload your demos, and that's how I got got jobs. And I get a lot from those still. And now
that's true.
I have a lot of repeat clients, and then they just contact me directly and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's a way and there's just so many voices.com, voice123,
Podalgo.
But Voice Bunny.
Yeah, I Googled you and boom, your demos are everywhere. Also, you told me in the Spanish language, there are more Mexicans. Los Angeles it's a country, the city with the most Mexicans after Mexico City. But Japanese, you have a very particular voice. You've been able to explore that very well. and you've been able to put yourself out there, which is great and admirable. That's true. And you really don't need an agent. Yeah, Hitomi.
Yes.
So something that I will recommend, friends, is like when you do your demo, a lot of people send me their demos and all I hear is music. Demos, when I hear music in your demos only, to me, that's made in a studio. It's not real. It's not like, listen to other people's demos. Listen to Heiko's demo. Listen to Jake's demos, for the love of Pete. We're going to go to your websites in a moment. And I mean, they're amazing.
Learn some German. Listen to German demos.
But
Yes,
you will,
I'm
it doesn't matter because you can hear the context and you will see that there's not necessarily music the whole time. You have sound effects. Like Lynna, she does both English and in Chinese. Well, I mean, oh my God, Mandarin. And I'm sure I've done English and Spanish, of course, with my super accent, and French. I'm sure that you've been hired in English with a French accent.
Yes,
so
accented English, they call it.
Yeah, so just listen to other people's demos and try to probably recreate something like that on your own words with your own style. So do you guys want us to go through the questions? We have a couple of questions here. There's one question for Isabel Sitterly. She wants
Sitterly, Isabel.
Sitterly. She wants to know the name of the mic that Jake was recommended, which is pretty much like the one that Heiko was saying, the Apple G, which is great for iPhones or for Macs or for, it doesn't work with Android. I don't know if you have it right there, but we can show it to you in a moment. Mario Corona, Mariox's Crown, he's a great actor from Mexico. He says, greetings to all of you voice actors. Hello, hello. Hola, hello, konnichiwa, bonjour, allo. Here's a text to all of you to say in your own language. And then he says that Heiko looks like Luke Skywalker. That's what Mario says. And let's see if there's any other questions. You take that.
I'll show you the mic. There
oh, you have some? Show it to
us.
There. Okay, that's an Apogee mic. Hold on. Let me have you only so people can see you. Talk while you share it.
So this is an Apogee mic. You can actually get connectors for any device. This is an older one. Now it's a 96K. This is not a 96K. And basically you just hook it up and it's got a nice little diaphragm mic in it and very sensitive gain on the side of it. And Apogee is going to be sending me a check after this. This is pretty much it for you right there.
That's I'm sorry.
And that's the older version of it. There's a newer version of this, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a newer version. This
Maybe we can put that on actor/space after. We can put the reference on actor/.
They can go to the video. They can go all the way to Facebook and watch the whole thing. Those who are not here today. So are there any questions that our friends from Facebook? I see 17 comments. But oh, okay. So Paola Silva, she recommends voice 1 to 3 for non-union job. Aurora Cosillo, what's the brand of the mic? We just said it. That's one of them. I have this other one. I don't know if you guys can see it because I don't have, depends on what I'm using. In fact, right now I'm talking to you through this mic. It's this little, also here, I put my cell phone in the middle. I will put it right here. And then that's how I record. I just don't remember what's the name of this mic, but you can find them on Amazon. And that's what I use in the car. So I just set up just also for filming. It's great, or for self-tapes, this screen. And because I do have an iPhone, but my regular phone is an Android. So it depends on what I'm using. Depends on the cell phone that I'm carrying at that moment. for self-tapes, this screen is great. Also for recording, I can read from here, or I can have the phone right here, say right here like this. And then you can just read the text from there and record from another one, whatever you want. So that's one of the ones that I used. I used to have a lot of friends. I remember, I don't know, like different friends who will come to my closet. I call it the closed studio, to come and record. And I'm like, you know what? You should just bring your own laptop and let's download Audacity for you and record from home and use your headset and just get a nice mic or something. But there are no excuses. So let's see, other questions. Yes, please, we got that. There's 23 questions, comments, and I don't see them all. Reads, haha. Can you guys, are you guys on Facebook? You don't have any? I don't see all the comments, unfortunately. I see 23, but I can't read them. Justin, are there any interesting Facebook comments that we can address?
No, just that
from anyone?
You're the best for organizing a virtual panel.
I'm the best, thank you.
You are the best.
Like Luke Skywalker, actor/rocks.
Read a lot, guys. Like Catherine just recently, Catherine Canna. She's one of the voiceover hosts for Germany. She told me that, for instance, Amazon has her own company for audiobooks. So you can put yourself there and try to submit yourself as an audiobook reader. That's another way to practice. I just started the other day, and I've never, Justin told me before, and I totally forgot about it. But that's another way to keep yourself busy and reading. When you go to the studio, how do you guys prepare? Do you do any exercise? Do you put a pen under your tongue? How do you guys prepare? Jake, tell us, how do you prepare before when you're ready to do a recording? Is there a special care that you take on your voice? Like,
you know,
for instance,
it depends on the situation. Hot tea's great. A lot of water. Hydration is really huge when it comes to voice work. You just got to drink a lot of water. And relax and have a good time more than anything else.
Like, for instance, you just told me it depends. So if you know you have a video game and there's a lot of screaming, but there's also some quiet moments, you want to tell our public, how do you ask, like, you know, sometimes you probably, you have the power as a voiceover talent to tell,
you know, nowadays,
please just scream and leave it to the end, or how do you work?
A lot of these guys are really respectful of that. And a lot of the directors, I'm sure Heiko knows, doing what he's doing now. When you have somebody screaming a lot at a certain point in a game, they'll usually, at this point, with all that's happened and all the people that have complained about the amount of abuse they've gotten on their voices, they'll wait for the end of it. Also, they don't want to blow you out because they'll have to bring you back and pay you again. So they definitely don't want to blow you out in the early part of the session so that you can't even speak by the end of it. So,
but that's for union jobs. For the ones that are just starting, that getting hired for maybe a student job or someone, they don't pay you for hourly. They just said, this is the job, this is how long, and this is just the final payment.
I would say definitely request, if you just, the first thing you want to ask is if there's anything that's going to be, you know, hard on your voice. And if there is, then you ask to do it in the last part, and they should respect that. I mean, because they're just doing themselves a disservice by not respecting that request. Because
that's correct.
You want the actor to be in his best. Everybody's putting their time into something to make it as good as they possibly can. And if you're conscious of that, and that you can, even if they're not, you should make them conscious of it too. Make them, because a lot of people don't think about that. They think you can just beat the hell out of your voice and not be concerned about it. So you really have to be, you have to take care of yourself by asking the question or saying, can we do this stressful stuff later, so that you aren't beating yourself up.
Yeah, I agree. Heiko, since you are a director as well, how do you help your fellow voiceover talent actors?
Basically what Jake said, like if we do something very stressful on the voice, we will certainly do this in the end, for sure. And we will certainly ask people, sometimes it's sensitive because folks voice some shows on TV and stuff like this. So they're very concerned about their voices, So we try to put the session on a day where he doesn't go on and have to voice like some very subtle or very, some TV stuff later on where it would be stressful on the voice. But basically what Jake said is true. You also have to know exactly whether like how your voice works in a way. Like some people just jump in and then they're blown out right in the start, which is very dangerous because they want to, but they don't really know how to. And that's that can be very dangerous. But usually, since I do dub stuff that sometimes requires a lot of shouting as well, it depends on the film, we do that in the end for sure.
Right. And how about you, Lynna? How do you protect your voice? Any tips that you want to give?
Hot tea, drinking a lot of water, and also like the relaxation. And if I'm driving to a studio or, even just at home, I'll do some vocal warm-ups. Just kind of like you don't just go run or jog without stretching, warming up your muscles. And I personally also like, because I tend to get really dry and I have allergy and stuff like that. So like, it's always kind of like sort of a constant struggle to keep my voice moist. So I like eating an apple beforehand. Green apple works really great.
A green apple, really?
Yeah. But green apple is supposed to be like the best. And I also have like a vocal spray thing because, I don't always remember to have apples on hand, but I will always have my my spray with me. So water, plenty of water, and my vocal spray or an apple like that. To me, it's just like it's essential for me.
Yeah.
Hitomi, Caroline, you guys, Caroline?
Yeah, so plenty of water, not cold water, tea.
That's true.
The Swiss girl in me, Ricola. There you go. No sugar because it can affect the performance. So I
Dairy.
No, that would just
do not have dairy when you are doing recordings. Please.
No, and no cheese, and no mint. Mint is not good either. So yeah, and warm up. I do some twisters and things like that.
Oh, that's good. That's pretty good. How about you, Hitomi?
Wow.
How do you prepare? How do you warm up? I just go like a guerrilla star.
Yeah, cold water.
Cold.
Yeah, like I don't know. I never think about like preparing myself.
I love it. I just show up.
She's a natural.
That's pretty good.
You said
it's amazing.
And all that stuff. Like I never thought of it. But yeah. But that's just me.
No, but truly, when you're doing a recording and then you cut for a break, say, you have 10, 20 minutes, don't spend those 10 minutes or 5 minutes talking to the engineer or anyone else. Really rest your voice. Go to a little corner and really rest your voice. And if you cut for lunch and then you have to come back, really do not eat any hot, drink hot and then cold, or dairy, because, or like lemon, those things, because they're going to change your vocal tones. They're gonna release or stop mucus, and it's gonna change the sound of your voice briefly, and it's gonna affect in the recording. So I think we're coming towards our end, but Justin is gonna share our websites. Where can everybody see our material? Where can they find us? Justin Regis, you guys know him. He is an amazing social media specialist and marketing specialist. And he's also my husband. He's always helping me and co-producing everything with me. And he's on the other side, and he's gonna try to share our website so you guys can find Heiko, Hitomi, Lynna, Caroline, Jake, and even myself. Mute yourselves, please.
Any particular order?
The ladies, let's start with the girls. So here we have our amazing Caroline. You just go to carolinamiguet.com, click on voiceover. On the tab voiceover, and you will find her reels, her voiceover links that we're not gonna have time to go to it, but this is pretty cool because she shared them through SoundCloud. So she uploaded them into SoundCloud and then embedded it into her website. Let's go to the next person. Tommy Farrell, Hitomi Farrell. So she has her demos here on, where would Hitomi go? Where do you see your, where would you see your demos, Hitomi?
On extras, I just clicked on it.
On home? How do you get
Extra
that?
stuff.
Oh, in extra stuff.
Stuff,
So
yeah.
there it is.
That's my writer website. So yeah, go to extra stuff. And then
Extra stuff. Now we're here with amazing Lynna, who's gonna show us some of her work. Only for time. It's lynna.com. So go see her right there. She has voiced TV commercials in different languages. She also embedded her SoundCloud account there, which is awesome. Heiko. I think Heiko and Jake, we could spend 2 hours on their websites. There it is. Commercials, characters, image, film, and radio feature. And then Jake is Eberle.com. Most of his work here, it's an animation industrial promo. Just click on commercial for a moment.
Is that the top one?
Yeah, so it's like slide down. So he actually has his demo and the picture of the clients that he works for. This is optional. It is a great idea, but it's optional. Like in my case, in Mexico, they don't like to know which companies you have because it's like a conflict of interest. So normally I don't show them all. But this is fantastic. And you can learn about him more and more if you visit Jake Eberle. Then we have, who else? Me. I just go to demo reels. I have them on audios or TV. So on my audios, I have TV spots or dubbing job, and then commercial kits, narration, telephone, teleprompters, e-learning, and then also Castilian. So have we gone through everybody? Am I missing anyone? We did, Lynna, everybody. That's awesome. So let's stop this sharing screen and go back to everybody so they can say goodbye. If there's anything else that you would like to say.
I want to say something.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Here are my books. So yeah, I'm also a writer.
Oh, she's a writer.
Yeah. So I'm working. So this is a series. It's called the Lucky series, and I'm working on my third right now. But yeah, these are what I have so far.
Where can they find them?
Oh, on my website. From my website. Well, they're on Amazon. So either go to Amazon.com or there are links to my website as well. HitomiFarrell.com/books.
Ooh, there's been some questions.
That's fantastic. We're getting some more questions.
Tell me
Right now,
while
we go to the
questions,
questions.
what are you guys working on right now? Like,
Caroline, what are you working on?
It's echoing right now.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm working. Actually, I split my time between San Diego and Los Angeles. I travel, not right now, of course. I hope everyone is staying safe. I work on a podcast about travel, cinema and fashion, and about what it is to be an expat in the US. And also I'm working, maybe I might read some characters in on my podcast. I don't know. I'm working on that so I get better and I get to edit my material and practice.
That's perfect.
Before we go to Jake, can you answer this question? Is it better to use a metal pop filter or nylon one?
Do they
both
work?
Mine is
Nylon,
the
little spongy.
from Paola
This is from Paola Silva.
You want to answer
You want to answer that?
It's echoing on my side.
It's echoing across the whole thing.
Okay.
Is
it-
everybody?
It's weird.
Can you see that?
Is someone's Facebook on?
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
It's on Facebook.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I broke this thing.
You go.
So
It's all right. So I think actually I have both. I have a metal and a foam filter on my
two.
whatever.
Which one's the one they use the most?
Well, right now the one in my booth has got both on it, just to stop for the pops and soften it a little bit.
Okay, so both work.
Depends on what.
Okay.
So
Heiko, we have
another question here.
Should
voiceover actors practice speaking with their diaphragms,
just like
singers do when singing?
Maybe that's
Lynna's question.
That's from
Antonio Chavez.
You're a singer, Lynna.
What do you think?
You know, that's a really good question. I feel like I always try to, I mean, like, you know, there's two things. You're breathing into your diaphragm, like that's just good vocal support because then I can take less breath, you know, in between and take out that breathiness. But then you have the vocal register and wherever you want to speak. But obviously, most speaking, you're just kind of chest voice. So, but I personally like to always speak from the diaphragm, just so I have more support. I can take less breath. So that's just how I approach it. But obviously, you know, you still kind of you don't want to think theater, right? You want to just think you're talking to someone directly at that microphone. I hope that answers your question. And maybe somebody else can be more, you know, clear on that.
Right. Heiko, do you have a comment?
I couldn't hear the question because it was echoing so, like I couldn't hear the question.
I don't know what happened. That is doing this echo.
So want to repeat it? It's actually if Lynna asked the question, I could hear Lynna without an echo.
So the question was, you want to repeat it? Yeah.
Okay. So the question is, do you speak from your diaphragm when you're doing voiceover work, like a singer, or you breathe differently?
For sure, yes. It depends. It kind of depends on what character you're doing. You know, if it's kind of like in this range, or if it's down here, if you're close to the mic or not so close to the mic, if it's shouted, it depends on what character you're doing. You know, if you're very close to, you do a very like smooth commercial or something, then you're very, you know, in close proximity to the microphone or something like this. Then it's certainly different. Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't really think about these technical things a lot when I do voices. It's just a decision that I'll just take. I'll just go for it.
And what are you doing, guys, right now? What are you up to? We know Heiko's directing.
Me? You're asking me?
Directing actors. Mm-hmm.
Yes, right now I'm directing the second season of Hotel Transylvania in German with amazing actors that we have that voice the characters. and I voiced one of the characters as well in the series. And I voice another character right now in, I don't know if you guys know Wild Kratts. That's a series. I'm one of the main characters on that series. And we did, I don't know how many episodes of that. And there's a pause right now. I have a couple of clients where I voice commercials for, which is what I do sometimes from here. And then sometimes I go into, that has been quiet in the last couple of weeks, and I am on a TV show that just got postponed into summer because of the crisis, which is a puppet show. It's a popular puppet show for kids on German television, and I'm one of the puppeteers on that show. Yes, ein Fall für die Erdmännchen.
That's good. Do your kids see it? Your girls watch it?
Yes. The older one has been on set already, so she knows what I'm doing.
It's you. She knows everything already.
Well, she knows the puppets. She knows all. Yeah.
She knows Daddy behind them.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lynna, going back to you, what are you doing right now? How are you keeping creative?
So obviously, there's just these e-learning jobs or other small voiceover jobs that pop up, and then I do them. But creatively, we talked about this. Like I'm sort of in the pre-planning stage of a short film that I want to shoot remotely in this quarantine time. So that's something that's going to happen really soon, and I'm pretty excited about that. And then so this is like something that's already done, but and this is more on-camera stuff. But I was in this feature film, and we just started the festival circuit, which is kind of on hold right now because of the travel restrictions. But one of the festivals is actually going to have a virtual showing. So you can actually see the film right from the comfort of your own home. So it's for the Ashland Film Festival.
That's amazing. That's very good.
The movie is Takeout Girl. Takeout Girl.
Takeout Girl. We'll take a look. And Jake, did you tell us already where are you working on? What you doing from home now?
I'm actually I've done a few commercials and a couple of video games, and some animation stuff from home. Thank God for that. So there's like some online video stuff, commercial stuff that people are still doing. So I guess they shot the videos already and needed to have everything voiced. And I'm writing some right now because there's a lot of time to do so.
What kind of writing you do?
I'm actually working on a screenplay. Yeah. Aren't we all?
Oh my God, all? That's a lot. That's amazing. Very good.
Yeah.
And Caroline, how about you?
Well, my podcast, I'm always, as I said, my podcast that I'm putting on SoundCloud and getting better.
What's the name of your podcast?
Well, The Adventures of Caroline. I don't know. I haven't named it. I actually, I put in podcast. I have to find a better name because it's about so many things. So what would you like it to be called? Caroline /
Pardon my French.
Oh, there you go.
Say the same thing.
Okay. You got it. No, that, and I'm editing my material because I want to be ready. I think it's also, we are learning a lot right now. It's about improving our craft. It's about really connecting ourselves with what matters, feeling stress-free, looking at the nature and appreciating all we have and what we've done. So and thinking about others. So yeah.
I'm very, very happy to hear from all of you guys. I'm still busy with my actor / connecting slashers, also on my theatrical acting. And Lynn and I are putting together with a Spanish actor, very tiny short film. And we have also some quarantine. I have some quarantine short films in film festivals right now. So I suggest that you guys do the same. One with Mario Corona, a friend of mine. He came up with this idea and directed us remotely, Justin and I. And right now we are competing. So I invite you guys. There's Matt McHugh. He's Wild Kratts. I've seen many of those episodes because my nephew loves them. He's memorized just about all of them. I think. Great job. Well, that's for one of you guys. There's a lot of great comments here. I invite you later on to go to Actor Slash on Facebook and read them. And I think that will resume our amazing panel with fantastic web host and voiceover talent such as yourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All of you.
Thank you.
Evangeline, thank you.
I know I'm such a police, social media police, and I've been chasing everybody like, share it. But that's the only way people actually show up. And thank you so much for putting up with me and for accepting my advice and my direction. I have to log in with some of you. And it was awesome. I'm very happy that you did it. And let's keep in touch. Now you guys know each other. We're gonna have to come and visit you all. And visit them, find them on Facebook, follow them.
Hire us.
Thank you so
Hire
much.
us.
Hire us.
Yes.
Thank you, Justin. Great job.
Yes, bravo, Justin.
Justin, great job. Everybody says, okay, guys, so let's disconnect. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, guys.
Jake,
Bye.
Heiko, Lynna,
Merci.
Hitomi,
Bye-bye.
Caroline.
Stay safe. Tschüss. Auf
Stay
Wiedersehen.
safe. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.